This is how the US does a Strat. It's bright, it's tranquil, it has rhythm, it has blues. And this is how Japan does a Strat. On this episode of Japan Finds, we will start our journey not in Japan, not in Ochanomizu, which is my favorite hangout, but rather much closer to home. Because I want to introduce to you this Strat. It's one I really like. It's called Iron Man. It's a 2009 57 Hot Rod Special, if I remember correctly. This is what you think of when you think of a Strat. Forget about the bridge humbucker, right? Now, how does this Strat, this guitar, this beautiful, relaxing, you could imagine it in Top of the Pops or whatever, how does this go to this? Now, make no mistake, this is still a Strat. It's got a nice maple neck. It feels just like a Strat neck in feel. Not talking about size here. Bolt on. It's got a pickguard. It may be the same color as the guitar, but it's a pickguard, all right. It's anodized, much like the anodized gold pickguard on that. But of course, let's talk about the many elephants in the room. It has, let's count that, not 6, not 7, but 8 strings. It has not a regular trem, but a Floyd rose. And it has some very, very demonic looking humbuckers. So, when you think about the Super Strat, when you think about hot rodded Strats, you might think about the Franken Strat, or even the evolution of the Strat, which is effectively all the Ibanez guitars. But I would submit, if you want to think about the ultimate Super Strat, it's this very guitar. Now, what is this guitar? This is a ESP, that's ESP the company, made in Japan, custom shop, Raiden 8. It's named after some video game, I think. I'm not into video games at all, so please enlighten me. But essentially, it is the signature guitar of the guitarist of Babymetal. For those of you who are not acquainted with Babymetal, that is the band that I showed you in the beginning of the video. In Japan, as Marty Friedman himself says, so formerly of Megadeth, it is very interesting to see the prevalence of electric guitar and particularly distorted electric guitar in common popular music. Somehow it just fits into the Japanese aesthetic. I wouldn't call Babymetal perfectly pop, but they are very, very popular both in Japan as well as outside. And the concept is basically taking the concept of Kawaii, which is cute. It's a Japanese word, again, Kawaii. And mixing cute elements with brutal, crazy elements. And that's what the Japanese do the best. That you take the very cute, mix it with the very extreme. So you have what were initially 3 10-year-old schoolgirls singing beautiful melodies on top of crazy metal guitar, and not just noisy, but beautifully written, amazingly melodic, yet very powerful, very heavy. And that was the formula, and it took the world by storm. And that's kind of where something like this comes in, because if you think about it, this guitar is a personification, or a guitar, whatever that word is. It is the personification in the guitar of that entire philosophy of Kawaii metal, or in terms of just that mixing of the normal with the obscenely crazy. So this guitar feels like a Strat. In the right settings, it can fool you into sounding a bit like a Strat, as I'm going to show you in a second. But reality is that it is a completely, it's a mutant. It's a completely different monster. Now, how did I get this guitar? As all of you know, or if you don't know, I have been working in Japan part time. Let me put it this way: half the time in Singapore, half the time in Japan for the last 6 years or so, which involves frequent visits to Japan, and that is when Ochanomizu became my second home. Ochanomizu, again for the unacquainted, is the guitar street in Japan. Absolute paradise. If you play guitar, make sure you go there once, and maybe you'll never leave. Who knows? So this guitar appeared on my radar. I looked all over. I could not find this in a shop in Ochanomizu. It was there in a shop which was near Shinjuku. I'm just trying to remember which shop it was. Just the name is just skipping me. I think it was Ikebe, if I'm not mistaken. So I had 2 hours between work finishing and a work dinner, which was supposed to be refresh time, right? Everybody finished the day's work, then we're going to have dinner later. So take those 2 hours to refresh yourself. Not for me. I ran to Ikebe. I got there, and guess what? I realized I hadn't brought my passport, and I needed my passport because that's how you get the VAT rebate. So I went there, I saw the guitar, I told the guy. He said, "Oh, we're closing in. What was it? In 40 minutes or something, 6:30 or something. They close. I can't remember the exact time." So okay, I said, "Please, just keep the guitar, keep it." Keep the shop open. I'm just going to come back. And sorry, now I remember. It was not, now that I'm recalling the story, I remember it well. It was Shibuya. So Shibuya, and my office and where I was near Kyobashi. It's a little bit of, it's like 7-8 stops on the same line, Ginza line. So I ran back. And by the way, Shibuya station is crazy. Shibuya station is where there's that there's that crossing which is just full of tourists taking photos. They don't do anything. They just take an Instagram of themselves crossing the road and crossing back. So I had to go through that. I had to go through everybody crowding up to take the photo of the dog. I'm forgetting the dog's name, the famous faithful dog. I ran through that. And then I went back, ran to my hotel, got my passport, ran back again to the, oh my God, I just got there in time. Luckily, the guy was very gracious. I have a nice photo with him over here. I had no time. I had to go for my ideal plan was to put the guitar back in my hotel room and then go for the work dinner, but I had to take the guitar along with me. I didn't have the time. The guitar was a hit. So what happened for my work dinner is that my one of my team members, I have a lot of Japanese folk in my team. He had a friend who was a sushi chef, and he had closed off the entire restaurant just for our group. And so that guy used to play guitar in his youth apparently. So he was also very delighted to see the guitar. We took a photo. Yeah, quite a story. What is this guitar like? Let me put it this way: it's a Strat. It's not that difficult to play. It really is okay. A big misconception that people have is you only play extended range guitars for metal. That could not be further from the truth. As you can see from all my playing demos, it's beautiful, right? It can sound beautiful. The extra notes give you so much more range like you would have with a piano or a keyboard. So I highly encourage you that, hey, if you are a Strat guy, maybe start off with the 7-string version. So this model is called a ESP Snapper. I should have mentioned that. And there's a 7-string version of this. It's a perfect 7-string Strat. So yeah. So this is one of those Japan guitar finds that I'm very, very happy with. No plans to sell this anytime soon. And more than that, I play this a lot because it's just so easy to play. And because of this guitar, ironically, I've started liking Strats again. I'm playing my own Candy Apple Red Strat a little bit more. And I even got another Strat, a purple Strat, because of this. Because I just felt like in a Strat mood after playing this. So who knew? Anyways, hope this was a fun story. I will have many more stories because I have many more guitars that I've gotten from Japan over the last 6 years. But this is one of the best ones. So, till next time.